Thank you, Kent and Joy. We are talking about Super 10, and we've got a lot of shakeups in the front half of the poll this week. Let's start at number 10, Oakleaf. They haven't played in 2 weeks. They lost a game to a Hurricane Idalia and then a natural bye week. But they are back in action. A big one against Fleming Island, district opener on Friday night. Number 9, Ponte Vedra. They were off last week. They're coming off a big win over Florida High the week before that. But they are back in action against Middleburg this week. Number 8, University Christian staying put. They beat Charlton County 40-13. That's just the second win in program history for the Christians against the Indians. So big one for Coach David Penland III and UC heading into an off week. Number 7, Bishop Kenny. They're coming off a big win over Turquoise Creek 23-20. They're staying put at number 7. Tough game there. But this week they have a rematch of a playoff game from last year against Orlando Bishop Moore. Bishop Kenny lost in that game last year. They have redemption on the mind. Rains 6, they are staying at number 6. They thumped Sandalwood 26-7 last week at the Graveyard. Coach Donovan Maslin and the Vikings have a tough game on Friday night against Daytona Beach Mainland. Mainland knocked off our number 1 team, Bartram Trail, last week. Let's make the turn into our top 5 where we've got the most changes this week. Bradford, they gave up a touchdown on defense, so that's the bad news, but the good news is their offense had 32 points. 32-7 last week over Middleburg. That defense has just been on another level. They have got Gainesville Eastside this week, a game that should challenge them a little bit, but again, Bradford has been in a league of its own. Trinity Christian, they fall a spot this week, really through no fault of their own. They beat North Florida Educational 43-0 last week. Again, they dropped a spot, but they have Bowles this week. They are 4-3 against Bowles on the field since this rivalry resumed in 2017. So we'll see how that one goes. Bowles 0-3, off to an unusual start for the Bulldogs. Number 3 and 2, some changes, both St. Johns County teams. Bartram Trail, they were number 1 last week, if you remember, but they dropped to number 3 this week with a 28-24 loss to Daytona Beach Mainland. Coach Corey Johns and the Bears are off this week. I don't expect that slide to continue. They are a very good team. Our big mover of the week, St. Augustine High School. They are up from number 5 to number 2. And the reason why, 45-35 win over Brunswick last week. That Pirates team had won 23 consecutive regular season games. That streak is over due to Lachlan Hewlett and the Yellow Jackets. They have got a fantastic offensive team over there in St. Augustine. They got rival Menendez on Friday night. Yes, and you guessed it, we've got a new number 1 team for the 3rd week in a row. Mandarin. The Mandarin Mustangs, they have looked phenomenal this year. 50-20 last week over Riverside, and that Riverside team had not given up a point all season long. Tremel Jones, Jamie French, that running game, Deshard Westcott, Tiant Weiss, they have been getting it done all season long for Coach Toby Bullock. They have got a big one on Friday night against a surprising team, Atlantic Coast. That rivalry in the Principals Cup, that's a battle of 3-0 teams. Step Durham and the Stingrays doing exceptional this season, but Mandarin is our new number 1. Now is a good time to remind you, if you like high school football, you should make plans to watch our game of the week. Rivals Paxton and Stanton face off Friday night at 6:30, and we will be there. You can watch pregame coverage starting at 5 o'clock before kickoff at 6:30. You can watch the full game streaming on News4Jax Plus and News4Jax.com.